WrestleMania 42 took place tonight in Las Vegas, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium. Now, before the show began, we had the countdown to WrestleMania show. The same four guys were on the panel that were on yesterday. It was Joe Tessitore, Corey Graves, Wade Barrett, and Big E. Reporting was Jackie Redmond and Kathy Kelly, both of whom were dressed more casually than they were on the Saturday, in which they were both wearing very lavish dresses. On Sunday, it was a bit more casual, but hey, they're still both very attractive. And the only reason to watch these countdown shows is just to see Jackie Redmond and Kathy Kelly. No other reason. There's only two reasons. They also had Byron Saxton reporting, but who cares? We just want to see Jackie and Kathy. Now, some of the highlights were that they reported early on the countdown show that Cody Rhodes suffered an orbital bone injury. It was pretty obvious how puffed up his eye was that something went wrong. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out or how they're going to incorporate it into the storyline. Look, that main event still confuses me. I don't even want to talk about night one much anymore. But I did have to mention this, and this is really bad. This shows you how upset people were about night one when I read the stat. Okay. Last night on night one, the ring wrestling time was only 1 hour and 26 minutes. The ad time was 1 hour and 14 minutes. This really concerned me for night two because there was only 6 matches. And that has to be the lowest match total for a WrestleMania ever. 6 matches? I know it's 2 nights now, but still. I think maybe WrestleMania 12 had 6 matches. Maybe that one. But still, that's ridiculous. So they replayed the Michael Cole interview with Roman Reigns that they aired on the show yesterday on the Countdown show. They previewed Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar a lot, as you would expect, because it was opening the show. They showed a sit-down interview with Booker T talking to former NXT talents, Lash Legend, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans, all of whom had matches on WrestleMania this year. Trick and Oba... not Oba, he was interviewed. Trick and Javon, who were interviewed, had matches on the Sunday show, whereas Lash had already wrestled on the Saturday show. But I don't know when this was recorded. They went to a Jade Cargill interview with Byron Saxton on the Vegas Strip at night. Clearly, this was recorded a day or two before, and I wish they would do that more when they were in Las Vegas. I wish they utilized the Strip more. I don't know how expensive it is, but it's kind of boring to me. Like, there's so many neon lights in Las Vegas, so many sites. I wish they would have used it more in some ways. I'm not sure how, but to me, that's a better interview than just having someone in an empty arena. So Vic Joseph interviewed Joe Hendry by the Crooked 5G wireless booth. He actually interviewed Sol Ruca yesterday. I actually forgot to mention that. And I was thinking, I just went through my head, WrestleMania just must be cursed in Las Vegas because WrestleMania 9 was horrible. WrestleMania 41 was horrible. WrestleMania 42 night 1 was horrible. And I was afraid WrestleMania 42 night 2 would be horrible. Not horrible, but I don't know if it was enough to save WrestleMania. But we'll talk more about how I felt about the show near the end of the review. They did a retrospective for WrestleMania 17. That was awesome because it's actually the 25-year anniversary. It actually passed. The 25-year anniversary was on April 1st. But still, 25 years since what I still consider to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 17. Glad they at least did that. And they did play My Way one time later in the show. They did play My Way. Backstage, Adam Pearce told Dominick Mysterio that his match with the Demon is now a street fight. They had Jackie Redmond interviewing Dominick Mysterio backstage. Tyrese Halliburton, NBA star, he joined the panel. Kathy Kelly interviewed Rey Mysterio backstage before the ladder match. It's been 20 years since he won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 22. So, also, I guess it's kind of a sentimental WrestleMania for Rey too, especially what happened last year. He got hurt the night before when he was supposed to wrestle Grande Americano on that SmackDown, and he actually had to miss WrestleMania. That really sucked. So I'm glad he at least got to be on this year's show. They did a countdown of the best WrestleMania entrances. They also showed the second part of the Joe Tessitore interview with Triple H, and I think a lot of it was focused on John Cena and how he wanted to lose to Gunther like that, and how Triple H is the one who took all the heat. The panelists mostly previewed the Roman Reigns CM Punk main events. Kathy Kelly was, I think she was in the stadium, as was Jackie Redmond and Byron Saxton. Then they eventually would move the panel into the stadium. They went to a sit-down interview with Corey Graves interviewing CM Punk, and they had the panel. When the panel was inside the stadium, I thought the best panelist of the night was actually Daniel Cormier, DC. He did a really good job. He did a really good job of building up Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar as this major heavyweight clash, which is what the panelists really weren't able to do as well. I think DC did a great job of that. So they went to some of the reporters by ringside. They had a Roman Reigns interview with Michael Cole. He took some shots at CM Punk here, some real personal shots, and you should definitely check it out. I was thinking, why wasn't this on TV? This would have been so much more entertaining on Raw. Anyway, then they were really just previewing Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi before it starts, and then eventually WrestleMania Night 2 started off. We got some shots of Las Vegas. We went to Allegiant Stadium. First outside the stadium, then inside it. So the main card is now on, and we see Trick Williams and Lil Yachty arriving. However you say his name, Lil Yachty, I don't care. They also showed Rhea Ripley, Jade, Cargill, and CM Punk all arriving in Allegiant Stadium. Then we got Lin-Manuel Miranda narrating the Night 2 WrestleMania Cold Open. It was basically very similar format. Instead of going back through the history of WrestleMania, they recapped Night 1 and then they previewed Night 2, which is fine. John Cena came out to start the show. Once again, he was dressed in a suit. I guess his official WWE appearances on TV are going to be in a suit. While he does other appearances for WWE, he might just go back in his ring gear, because I still don't understand why he did that interview with The Undertaker in his ring gear, but he goes back to wearing a suit on WrestleMania. It's just weird. But when John Cena, this is hilarious, he said that this is the first time WrestleMania is airing on ESPN. The crowd booed, and I was jumping like, yeah, that's right, boo ESPN, boo TKO, which they kind of did at the end. I'll talk about that. Boo them all. Boo all these corporate sponsors. ESPN is just as responsible for really screwing up WrestleMania and WWE as TKO is, because ESPN is the one who showers us with all these fucking ads. They have all these ads on their app, and they're killing the product. ESPN's destroying WWE. They're flooding the company. They're flooding. This is a PLE. People don't want to see commercials during a fucking PLE. Yes, it's not pay-per-view anymore, but people still have that mindset of, yeah, this is a premium event. We don't want to fucking be, we don't want to have to watch commercials during the show. No, we can put up with that on Mondays and on Fridays and on Tuesdays. We don't want to see this right now. And ESPN got booed, and I'm glad they booed them. Boo ESPN, boo TKO. So then he says John Cena says we need to start with something big. So what happens is they changed the color scheme from Night 1 to Night 2. Night 1 had the fiery red, kind of like the old Las Vegas, while Night 2 is more modern, the neon Las Vegas. So it goes from the fiery red and it transitions to the neon blue, which looks a lot better. The color scheme for Night 2 looks so much better than the color scheme for Night 1. And that's saying, I mean, I get Night 2 is better than Night 1 in every single way anyways, but the color scheme, we can at least mention that it looked a lot better. Now, some people, I'll admit, some people got their hopes up a bit when they saw the transition from the red to the blue, in which it looks similar to The Rock's entrance 2 years ago at WrestleMania 40 with the lightning bolts. To me, that sounds like The Rock, isn't it? And it's The Rock's colors, by the way. The neon blue is The Rock's colors. I was thinking, is Rock coming? No. No. He disappoints us again. He always finds a way. Even when it's not his fault, he still disappoints us. He's not showing up. I don't want to see The Rock anyway. After what happened last year, I really don't want to see him on WWE TV anymore. So we got some pyro, and then Oba Femi came out first. He got a big pop, and then Brock Lesnar made his entrance with Paul Heyman. And this was likely his last entrance, which no one expected. At least no one expected it on this show. So what happens is they were going to do the introductions. Paul Heyman takes the mic and introduced Brock Lesnar. Then Alicia Taylor introduced Oba Femi, and we get our opening match, Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. So what happened is they did the lockup early on, kind of like the Hogan Warrior thing when they lock up, and it's a test of strength. They also did that with Hogan and Rock at WrestleMania 18. So Oba got the upper hand early on, And then Brock was outside the ring. He dragged Oba out. He threw him into the ring post, threw him into the steps. And then they go into the ring, and Brock takes Oba to Suplex City, hits a few German suplexes. And then Brock Lesnar hits the F5. And looks like, Oba's in trouble. Oba basically no-sells it. He gets back on his knee after the F5. He gets up, and Brock is shocked. And then Oba hits a choke slam onto Brock Lesnar. And then he hits the fall from grace onto Brock Lesnar. 1, 2, 3. Oba Femi pins Brock Lesnar clean in the middle of the ring. This match was exactly what it needed to be. It was practically what I was really expecting it to be. I didn't want it to be anything more than this because I think, it's a Brock Lesnar WrestleMania match, especially since he had that match at Goldberg, I think 9 years ago at 33. This is what usually most of his matches are now, and this is what it needed to be. I don't think people were expecting a long match. Oba won. It was clean. It was a Brock sprint, like a heavyweight fight. Oba Femi celebrates. He's a major player now. Very physical match. But then, after Oba leaves, the focus is back on Brock. Brock's in the middle of the ring. He's not moving. I'm thinking, he's selling for Oba. That's fine. Then suddenly, he sits up. He then looks emotional. He looks like something's up here. He takes his gloves off. He's retiring. Fun fact, I was actually at SummerSlam in 2023 when Brock took his gloves off after he lost to Cody Rhodes, and I thought, did I just see Brock Lesnar's retirement? Turned out that wasn't the case. Here he takes his gloves off, and I'm thinking, I saw him do that at SummerSlam live. He might not be retiring. I don't know what that means. Then, this was different. He untied his boots, and he took his boots off. Something's up here. Is he retiring? He got very emotional now. Wow. This is crazy. I've never seen Brock Lesnar emotional. I don't think I've seen him show emotion besides anger. It's weird for me to even think that Brock Lesnar even cries. And I didn't really want to see him cry because I want him to still be Brock Lesnar. But then again, he's still a person. Him crying was, that was surreal. And then we see Paul Heyman. They embrace. Paul Heyman is bawling. You can see tears streaming down his face. He is crushed. He's crying. And then they embrace in the ring. Then they walk up the ramp. The fans are chanting, "Thank you, Brock. Thank you, Lesnar." They walk up the ramp. Brock is very emotional. Heyman is even more emotional. And he waves to the fans. He gets a standing ovation. A surreal moment. I was not expecting to see this on this show. I thought we were probably going to see this on SummerSlam in Minnesota, which is where Brock's from. Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's perfect for Brock Lesnar's retirement. I think he's retired. They didn't say for sure he's retired. I have to mention that. I know I kind of felt the same way with AJ at the Royal Rumble, where he's probably going to retire, but I'm not 100% sure. I feel the same way about Brock at WrestleMania. I think he's retired, but I'm not 100% sure. When it came to John Cena at that Saturday Night's Main Event in December, I knew he's done. It's over. That's it. Bill Goldberg, I felt the same way with him. And by the way, this is crazy. If Brock does retire, which I think most likely this is it. I think this was the last time we saw Brock Lesnar. That's 4 major retirements in the WWE in the last 9 months. Bill Goldberg in July at Saturday Night's Main Event. John Cena in December at Saturday Night's Main Event as well. AJ Styles in January at the Royal Rumble. And Brock Lesnar in April at WrestleMania. So 4 major retirements in the span of 9 months. And this one was like, we got no notice here. And I think that's how Brock would want it. I really thought Brock was going to SummerSlam because it's Minnesota. You don't think WWE doesn't want to promote Brock Lesnar's last match in Minnesota where he's from? That's going to sell tickets. That'll be the biggest attraction they have at SummerSlam this year if they had him there. But that's not happening now. Brock's done. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Gunther tries to draw him out of retirement. Maybe that's the favor Paul Heyman owes Gunther. But I thought maybe the favor was Braun Breaker interfering on Gunther's behalf, helping him defeat Seth Rollins. To me, that seemed like more of the favor to me. But maybe Gunther's favor now is he wants to face Brock Lesnar so he can retire Brock Lesnar instead of Oba Femi. But I don't think they should do this because I think this helps Oba a lot more. If Brock comes out of retirement now, faces Gunther, and Gunther retires him, Gunther doesn't need to retire Brock Lesnar. He's already retired John Cena. I feel like, this helps Oba even more, and it makes it feel like, Brock, he knew he couldn't hang anymore. He couldn't handle Oba Femi. This guy's going to be the future. He really didn't want to stay around anymore. He knew he couldn't beat him, so he retired. That makes sense, and that really helps Oba Femi. And this was an amazing moment. This was shocking. I was not expecting this whatsoever. Really surreal seeing Brock Lesnar cry. That, to me, like, I never thought I would see that in a million years. I guess it's kind of like seeing the Undertaker streak end. In some ways, this was a lot like the Undertaker streak ending at WrestleMania 30. Brock beats the Undertaker. I guess Brock loses to Oba here. And, Undertaker kind of retired after that match. We thought he was retired. I thought he was done. That's why I thought he lost. But then, of course, he wrestled another 6 years. But here at Brock, it feels like this is it. And, it's a moment. And, we saw Brock Lesnar retire. To me, like, when I just mentioned Taker, I thought I would never see Undertaker streak end. I don't think I would ever see Brock Lesnar cry. To me, I didn't think that was possible. But we did. And if this wasn't his retirement, he sold it as better as humanly possible. But I think this is it. So, the fans chanted what I think needs to be said. Thank you, Brock. Thank you, Brock Lesnar. What a career. I saw his debut in 2002, Raw, the night after WrestleMania 18. I still remember saying it. It's a hardcore match. There's a bunch of guys in the ring, kind of like lower card guys. And all of a sudden, I see this guy who's jacked. I mean, I've never seen a man with that kind of physique. I was like, who the fuck is that? This guy's going to be huge. And he just murders everybody. He kills these guys. And I'm thinking, this guy's going to be world champion very soon. And I was young. I was not even 7. I thought, oh my God, this is the next big thing. And that's what they called him. The next big thing, Brock Lesnar. And I felt the same way about John Cena. I saw his debut. I got to see his debut. I got to see his whole career play out. And I got to see his retirement. Brock Lesnar, I also got to see his debut. Then, he's there 2 years. He leaves. He goes into MMA. Comes back in 2012. And, he's kind of in and out. He's a part-timer. Then, there's times where he's world champion. Then it seems like he's out of the company. He's back. And I've seen his whole career play out. Man, it makes me feel old seeing John Cena and Brock Lesnar's career play out. I mean, they both came in around 2002, retired around the same time. It's crazy to see it. So that's the end of another legend. So after that, we have a commercial break. We got 4 minutes. Great. 4-minute commercial break. Fuck TKO. Miss Snickers commercial. I don't care about that. I don't care about Snickers. I mean, if it's just one Snickers commercial per show, I'm not going to complain. But I mean, seeing commercials during WrestleMania, it's so infuriating to me. It just angers me. So then you had Jade McDonagh in the ring, as was Dragon Lee and Rusev, who was outside the ring actually. And this was now time for the ladder match. Then Rey Mysterio made his entrance. As I said earlier, it's been 20 years since he won the championship at WrestleMania 22 in that triple threat with Kurt Angle and Randy Orton. He pinned Randy to win that match. And he's out, and then Javon Evans was out next, and then Penta had a bit of a special entrance. He had kind of a video before, then he makes his entrance. He defends his championship. He's wearing a skull helmet with horns. I'm not sure the significance of that. I don't know exactly what it was, but we have the Intercontinental Championship defended in a 6-pack ladder match. Penta defended his title against Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonagh, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. So Rusev used the ladder early on as a weapon, not to really to climb, but just swing it at people. Then he sent one up by bridging the apron in the announce booth with a ladder. They always do that. It's always a common spot now for WWE in ladder matches. So JD took a really bad back bump onto the ladder, and he's known for taking bad back bumps. I remember that one time we thought he died on the announce booth last year. Here, he took a bad back bump, and it just looked like it hurt. It didn't look good, by the way. It didn't look like, a clean bump. It just looked like he got hurt, and it was a bad landing, and it didn't look good. Rey hit a 619 with the ladder set up. Rey, actually, this is the best spot probably in the match. So what you had is Rusev on the apron, and then in the ring was, I think, Penta and Rey got he kind of jumped over Penta. He was going to do a move on Penta, Penta tossed him over, and what happened is Rey lands on Rusev, and he hits a West Coast pop, basically, onto Rusev off the apron, and they go down through the ladder. So Rey drives Rusev through the ladder, and Rusev takes the bump. I think Rey got it worse because Rey had the ladder kind of kicked back right into his face, and looked like that sucked for Rey. But that was definitely the best spot. Dragon Lee hit a Styles Clash on Rey, so I guess he's going to use the Styles Clash since he teamed with AJ, so AJ Styles gave him that move. Dragon Lee hit a Spanish Fly on Jade McDonagh from the ladder, halfway up from the ladder. Penta hit a Mexican Destroyer to JD on the bridge ladder that was set up in the ring, in which he had one ladder set up and then another ladder set up in between the steps and bridged on the rope. So you had just a brutal Mexican Destroyer on by Penta onto JD, and JD McDonagh, man, he takes some bad bumps for the WWE. He really bumps. He's not a big time player there, but he will bump. He can take some. He took the two worst bumps in this match that looked the most painful. One was the back, which didn't look good on the ladder, and this, he took a spike Mexican Destroyer. They took a Canadian Destroyer, that's what it's called, on a ladder. It looked bad, man. He really, you got to give him credit. So what happens is after that, another big spot. I can't recap the whole match. There's just too much in ladder matches to recap every spot. But Rusev was on the ladder, and as he was there, Javon Evans got on the top rope, and he jumped from the top rope, and this was quite a distance. And he hit Javon hit the OG cutter onto Rusev while he was on the ladder, and Javon jumping from the top rope, and it was a great looking OG cutter, looked great there. And then Penta hit the Mexican Destroyer on Javon Evans, and then Penta climbs the ladder, and he retained the title, winning the match, bringing down the Intercontinental Championship. Very good ladder match. Clearly, there's been ladder matches at WrestleMania have been much better than this. This might not even be in the top 10. Probably not. But it was still very good. It was a very solid ladder match. Got some bumps, took some bad bumps, especially by JD, but safer compared to others in history. But I thought it was a fun, entertaining ladder match. Nothing wrong with it. Then they recapped Brock Lesnar retiring from WWE, and Michael Cole thanks Brock Lesnar. They did leave some doubt. I have to mention that, but as I said, I think this is most likely it for Brock. Then we get another commercial break, 4-minute break. I'm always going to say this now whenever there's PLEs and we get commercial breaks. Fuck TKO. The first hour overall was great. There's nothing else you can say about that. The first hour, it delivered, especially with the moments, with Brock and Oba really delivering in the ring, and then that moment of Brock retiring, a major WrestleMania moment, easily the biggest news story that's happened in WrestleMania this weekend, was Brock Lesnar's retirement, because it's a major star retiring and a major figure, an all-time legend, and so you had that, and then you had the ladder match, which delivered. It was really good. So the first hour, on fire, great. Nothing bad to say about it. Completely blows away the first hour of night one. Night two was just a much superior show to night one in every way. So they had to do this. You had the mug highlight of the night with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. I mention this because it's black and white. They can't show it. Even on a PLE broadcast, they can't show it. They have to show it's black and white because, oh no, there's some blood. So now they have to make the whole thing black and white. It's so stupid. We got a shot of Allegiant Stadium with the Mandalay Bay in the background. That's on the outside, and I think the Luxor, the pyramid thing. So that's where the Allegiant Stadium is close to. It's close to the Mandalay Bay and Luxor. But they showed us outside, and then we go back inside a club WWE blimp flew, and then we got another fucking advertisement. Fuck TKO. Fuck TKO. They show celebrities in the crowd. Jameer Gibbs, the Lions running back, whatever, he was there. Daniel Cormier was there. Some other D-listers. I don't know who these other people are. The Jonas Brothers, one of the Jonas Brothers was there. I don't know if they're still relevant because, remember, they used to be really big, but I don't know how popular they still are. They show, then actually Sami Zayn came out next. He was booed mostly. And then Lil Yachty was out, another celebrity. He was out to introduce Trick Williams. Trick stood on a platform, and then he rotated, and he began walking down to the ring, and the fans were all chanting, "Whoop that Trick." But I was noticing when he was walking, it was as if like a white carpet was forming, and then I realized I don't know what it's called. Is it a carpet jacket? I guess they call it a train jacket, in which it's basically you're wearing a giant carpet for a jacket, and when you walk, like it turns in, like it rolls out, and that's what happened on the stage. And Trick makes his entrance with Lil Yachty. Fans were all chanting, "Whoop that Trick!" I wish they could have had Booker T there at WrestleMania. I think that would have been good. Have him on commentary for this match. He can do, I love it. Oh yeah, man. Like, they should have allowed Booker T to do some commentary for this match, because he helped Trick Williams so much, man. And he helped Stephanie Vaquera a lot with the Devil's Kiss. I wish he could have, they could have had him. I wish they could have incorporated Booker T in some way in this Trick Williams entrance, because, he did a lot for him. But we get the United States Championship match next. Sami Zayn defending his title against Trick Williams. Fans hate Sami. Sami attacked Lil Yachty as I think it was Nick Khan. I spotted him in the crowd. Sami hit a brainbuster onto the apron to Trick. Didn't look very good. Landed on the back. Look, he's not very good in the ring. I've always said that in NXT. Look, he has a lot going for him. He has a great look. He has a great entrance. He's charismatic. He can cut a promo. Limited in the ring. Very limited. But, the match they had was okay. Sami hit a haluva kick to the outside. Then Lil Yachty, I think he grabbed Sami. He distracted him while the ref was looking on Trick. And then Lil Yachty gets Sami back later in the match. So he got him back for what Sami did to him earlier. And what happens is Sami and Trick go back and forth. Trick hits the Trick shot onto Sami Zayn, pins him 1, 2, 3. Trick Williams, your new United States champion. He celebrates with Lil Yachty, and then he celebrates with his family, who were ringside. So nice for Trick Williams. He got really over since he's come to WWE this year, and he's already the United States champion, and he already has a nice WrestleMania moment to his name. So congratulations, Trick Williams. They promoted WWE 2K26, and I mentioned this earlier about My Way. They had to have My Way by Limp Bizkit playing. They love stringing on your nostalgic emotions, WWE and TKO. They have to do that to promote 2K26. They want to get that above 35 crowd or above 30 crowd to buy their game. So we're going to play My Way by Limp Bizkit to make them think of their favorite WrestleMania 17. Anyway, but I'm glad they at least did that. And as I said, it's been 25 years since WrestleMania 17, and it's significant. And it's also kind of cool because the stage is clearly inspired by WrestleMania 17, the 42 stage. Now, I don't think this is what they always wanted to do. I think if they had more time, they would have made a bigger stage. And maybe if they sold more tickets, they would have had the stage pushed back, because you can tell compared to last year, it's up. The stage is smaller because there's tarps in the back. So they had to move up the stage. It looks a lot like the SummerSlam stage when they had to move it up because they couldn't sell out the stadium. But that's understandable for a SummerSlam. For WrestleMania, they couldn't sell it out like they did last year. And last year, it just looked better. The show looked, the set looked a lot better. But they showed George Kittle and Tyrese Halliburton drinking. Rob Gronkowski was there as well. Dominick Mysterio was out next, and he was on a throne, coming out as the throne with a bunch of luchadors, and he's promoted, of course, as the king of the luchadors. So nice, cool WrestleMania-style entrance for Dominick Mysterio. And then Finn Bálor came out as the Demon after 3 years. Last time we saw him was WrestleMania 39 when he lost to Edge in the Hell in a Cell. He comes out, there's streamers falling from the ceiling, and then we see the red mist, the red smoke arise. Nice, cool moment. The Demon is back. We get the entrance. I think the Demon entrance looks better in an arena than a stadium, mainly because it's hard to, you can't, turn off all the lights. When they do it in the arena, they can turn the lights off, and it just looks better. In the stadium, it's hard because of the sunlight. This is during the day, and the whole show, just like last night, or just like yesterday, actually, on the Saturday, it was light the whole show. WrestleMania Sunday was all light. So, it has to be the first WrestleMania one where it's it's not dark. It's light the whole way through because, they start at around 3 p.m. in Nevada time. So, anyway. But a cool entrance for Finn. It would have looked better if it was darker. But, hey. We get the street fight, the Demon Finn Bálor against Dominick Mysterio. So Finn uses a kendo stick early on. That's why I didn't have kendo sticks, I think, in the Drew and Jacob match. They introduced a table. Dom uses the chair. Finn kicked out. after Dom hit him in the head, I think, with the chair. And then Dom drove Finn through a corner table. Then he hit a 619 with the chair on Finn. And then he hit a frog splash, but Finn Bálor kicked out. The Demon kicked out. Dominick beat him up with a chair. Dom brings another table, but then Finn uses a chair to beat down Dom. He then puts the chair on Dom's head and hits a drop kick into the chair into Dom's head. Then Finn puts Dom on the table. He goes to the top rope, hits a coup de grace, driving Dominick through the table to win the match. So basically the same thing we saw yesterday with Drew and Jacob. But I thought that was better than this, to be honest. But basic WWE weapons match, not too violent. You get tables, fans love tables. We get some chair shots, kendo sticks, no trash cans. We did get trash cans on SmackDown though, but there was no trash cans here. But yeah, just whatever. We've seen this match a million times. There's not much else to say about it. It's like, what else? Okay, people like it. They gave them what they want, I guess, but it was fine for what it was. Then we get another 4-minute commercial break. Fuck TKO. And then they promote Minute Maid Juice. Some guy was on the commentary team. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. That just confused me. So then Jade came out. She got a special entrance, and there was no video package for Jade and Rhea, by the way, because of all of ESPN's fucking advertisements and all the TKO sponsors and shit. Fuck them. Anyway, Jade got a special entrance with thunder and lightning on the LED board, and Jade was basically dressed as like she's wearing a giant bow tie. That's how I would explain it. And then she makes her entrance, and then Rhea Ripley comes out, just a normal entrance for her, no special entrance for Rhea. The special entrances were considerably toned down on night 2 from what they were on night 1. Night 1, everyone got a special entrance. I think almost the entire card who was wrestling on night 1 got some sort of special entrance. Some bigger than others, but they all had special entrances. Night 2, like, there's a lot less. People got it, so a lot of stars got it, but Rhea, you think she has to have a special entrance. She's Rhea Ripley. She's the biggest female star in the whole company. No special entrance this year for Rhea Ripley. She just comes out. She was dressed up in all white, and Michael Cole admits it's because she's going crazy, and now it's in the sane asylum. Rhea's driving her crazy. But I thought Rhea would do something like with, I was expecting her to do something maybe with Art the Clown, because I know she loves the Terrifier movies, but we didn't get that. She just came out in white gear, and no Io Sky with her at first. And then it was weird because the show was only 2 hours in, and I wrote down thinking, they absolutely could have included Io Sky and Asuka. You're 2 hours in, and you only have 2 matches left. You could have easily added Io Sky and Asuka. You could have even added Julia against Tiffany Stratton if you wanted. And you could have added another match on night 1. You could have had two shows with 8 matches is what you need. That's very solid. You get 8 matches on 2 WrestleManias. You don't need more than that. But really, like 6 matches? Fuck off. 7 matches for night 1. I guess that's what they do now, but fuck, 6 matches, man. That's bullshit. It's one more than the standard Paul Levesque 5-match PLE, which is what we usually get, which we're going to get that for Backlash. Anyway, we're only 2 hours in. We had the ring introductions, and we get the WWE Women's Championship on the line. Jade Cargill defended her title against Rhea Ripley, who won the Elimination Chamber. Match was slow to start off. We get dueling strikes, and then Jade hit a really nice spine buster. And Jade had, after this, she picked it up, and I thought she had the best match of her career. That's not saying much. That's still a very low bar, but she did do well here. And I'm sure they had to have practiced the match a million times. Let's be real. Especially with the woman. They practiced the match so many times. What happened is Mishin and BFAB interfere. We see them, and we didn't see they didn't come out with Jade initially, but then we saw them interfere, and we thought, okay, that's when I knew Io's coming out soon. And then Io makes a run-in, and she gets her own entrance. Like, they play Io's theme song, so that was kind of a make-good, as which they didn't give her the match against Asuka, despite having what I thought was the best year of any woman in WWE last year, but they still had to give her a WrestleMania entrance because they couldn't leave her off the show, which would be just a travesty. So they gave her something. It's kind of like throwing, people who are upset about Io not being on WrestleMania. It's like throwing us a bone. But she comes out, she fights off BFAB and Mishin, and then she hits a springboard moonsault onto them, taking them out. So she is part of WrestleMania. And then back in the ring, Rhea and Jade go back and forth. Rhea and Jade, go back and forth. Rhea tried the Riptide. Jade got out of it. Jade tried Jaded. Rhea got out of it. And then Rhea eventually hits the Riptide on Jade Cargill, pins her 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley, your new WWE Women's Champion. I was not expecting that result. I thought Jade would probably win, but Rhea won here, and that's a surprise. I think that's a welcome surprise. Jade was not a good champion. She just doesn't have good matches, but here she had a good match. I don't know if maybe not good, but she had a decent match, I'll say. This was easily the best match she's ever had. Rhea wins. Rhea won the match. Nice moment with seeing Rhea and Io celebrate together because they're, basically very close. I think we can all tell that they're really close, especially how Rhea loves to pick up Io and grab her. We all know Rhea loves Io. And after Rhea won, they celebrate. Rhea lifted up Io, then she kissed her on the forehead as they celebrate Rhea's title win. I want to know how they're going to celebrate tomorrow on Raw, if they're on Raw, because Rhea is now on SmackDown, so they're going to be split now. So I wonder if they're going to say their goodbyes. But Rhea really loves Io Sky, if you can't tell. She loves her. I'm surprised, I'll just say this. I thought they might do some sort of love storyline between the two of them. Because, it's like they tease it so much, but I guess they're just going to be split now. And that's too bad because even under, their foes, they had some amazing matches together. But Io helps Rhea win the WWE Women's Championship. And I guess Io, maybe she faces Asuka on Raw. She'll eventually face Asuka soon. And we'll see who Rhea faces on SmackDown now. So they promote Backlash, which is in Tampa in a few weeks, actually. And on May 10th, I don't know when in May, a few weeks in May, a few weeks from now. And then they show fans watching WrestleMania around the world. They recap Brock's supposed retirement again. I think he's retired. John Cena was back in the ring. He announced the attendance as 55,255 for night 2. So if that's to be believed, that's 5,000 more than night 1. Now, they had more time to sell tickets to night 2 than night 1. I'm sure they might have had some comps, but that's solid. Night 1's definitely a disappointment. That's 10,000 less, but here, 55 is pretty good. It's only half of it's like what if they did 60,000 night 2. Well, I don't know the exact numbers on night 1 and 2, but I think night 2 for 41 was more than night 1 was. So maybe it was. It's less of a drop compared to what night 1 was, but solid attendance. John Cena thanked, and then he announced the total attendance, by the way, as 106,000 and 106,072. So a lot of people showed up. Still, even though it's a decline from last year, they probably beat the gate record in a way. I don't know if they might have beaten it, but I'm sure they came close. Which that's all TKO cares about. I don't think they give a shit how many people show up. I think they'd rather, to them, the gate's the gate. They don't care how many people are there. But I think it still has to be considered a success, even though it's a decline from last year. Look at that. That's a lot of people. 106,000 people over 2 nights. And, the gate is a massive gate. It's a success, even though I really don't want it to be because I hate TKO so much. But John Cena thanked the fans. Then he's interrupted by The Miz and Kit Wilson. They go back and forth on the mic. I didn't want to see this. I love seeing Cena, but I don't want to see The Miz and Cena interact on the mic in 2026 because when they interact at WrestleMania, all I think of is WrestleMania 27, one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time, 15 years ago. And then they had that moment at 33 when it was John Cena and Nikki Bella against The Miz and Maurice, but it's like, I really don't need to see them interact at WrestleManias anymore. And then they go back and forth on the mic, and then Danhausen comes out. There's a bunch of, Cole calls them midgets, little people, whatever you want to say. They're dressed up as mini Danhausens, and then they bring out Danhausen, who has his own special entrance, and you can tell WWE really likes Danhausen. They really want to use him. I don't mind Danhausen. I just feel like they're overexposing him now. I think eventually he has a shelf life. And he's going to become annoying to a lot of people very soon, like he did here to me. He comes out driving a mobile vehicle. I don't know what the fuck it was. And Michael Cole was so fucking cringe here. He's so annoying. He's just being so irritating. I'm like, go away. Shut the fuck up, Michael Cole. This is where he's so bad. And like, I hated this. Kit Wilson gets punched in the balls like it's some comedy, some slapstick comedy, which is what this was. This was like Vince McMahon type of comedy that he'd find funny. And then Miz, they beat. I don't even know what happened. Danhausen beat up Kit Wilson. All all the ones with Danhausen beat up on Kit Wilson. Then Danhausen attacks the Miz. He does a 5-knuckle shuffle to the Miz. People cheer it. Yeah, they do the "You Can't See Me." So John Cena endorsing Danhausen. Great. I hated this. This sucked. Stupid comedy. It's such shit, man. I hated this fucking segment. I'm thinking, the match times weren't as bad as on night 2 as they were on night 1, but we couldn't get Io Sky and Asuka instead of this. They just had to have this fucking segment on this show. Jeez. Anyway, Cena then announced the main event was next, and then we get the main event video package, followed by a 4-minute commercial break. Once again, fuck TKO. And then we had basically, it felt like a theater opera on stage, to giving us an instrumental version of Roman Reigns' theme song, which was great. And we saw the Samoan Dynasty on the LED screens. On the LED screens, we saw a lot of them, but we didn't see all of them because it was zoomed in to the center. So I think we saw the Wild Samoans, and I noticed Yokozuna. But on the other screens were more of the family. And Roman Reigns comes out to the Bloodline theme song. This was his older theme song. Great entrance. That theme song's awesome. It was kind of similar to the WrestleMania 39 entrance, but that was much better than this, when they had the pianos and they played this theme song, which sounded amazing. That entrance was better, and the 40 entrance with the orchestra blows this away. That entrance was better, but this was still a really good entrance. Still really good for Roman. He comes out. It's his 11th WrestleMania main event. And then we get a montage video of Las Vegas. So we see all the sights of Las Vegas, from like all the major hotels, the neon lights, and the Bellagio fountains, and the Sphere, and the Eiffel Tower at the Paris. I don't know what else. All those, the New York Liberty, Statue of Liberty, all the major the Caesar's Palace, and basically all the Las Vegas monuments at night, which look great. And as we see them, we hear his theme song playing, which is the ROH theme song. So they have the ROH theme playing. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's playing. And then we see CM Punk on top of Allegiant Stadium. He's on top of Allegiant Stadium, and he's holding his championship belt, sitting in the sitting down the crisscross way, like when he did his pipe bomb, sitting on Allegiant Stadium, ready for his main event. And then we see CM Punk walking in the back, walks past Gorilla, walks to the top of the stage, and this was all silent. His music wasn't playing yet. And then we noticed on his jacket that he has these 4 names. I couldn't make out what it was, but then Cole explained it. But then during Punk's walkout, he kneels down, does the "It's Clobbering Time," and then Cult of Personality plays. CM Punk makes his entrance. And Michael Cole explained the significance of CM Punk's jacket. He had the jacket of 4 people who passed away in the last year for WWE. They were production people. You saw a lot of the names, and I think Harley Race was on there as well as an inspiration to Punk. Really cool entrance for Punk. Really enjoyed it a lot. Last year was way better. Punk's entrance last year with this fire burns, I like that more. But this was still a really good entrance for him. And he had both Punk and Roman had good entrances. So Alicia Taylor does the ring introductions. Roman got a mixed reaction, as did Punk. Split crowd, and we get our main event of WrestleMania 42, Night 2. The final match on WrestleMania weekend. This is it. This is the pinnacle, Night 2 main event. World Heavyweight Championship on the line. CM Punk defended his title against Roman Reigns, who won the 2026 Royal Rumble. So match started off slow. They fought in the crowd briefly. Roman hit a Superman punch. Punk set up Roman on the announce booth. He climbed to the top, seized the elbow drop. Roman got up, and what happened is this is where the match really picked up. He had Punk in a tree of woe on the outside, and Roman kept delivering Superman punches, and he eventually busted open Punk's mouth. And then Roman took the steel steps, and he hit Punk in the head with the steps as he's hung upside down. That's clearly a no disqualification. I mean, that it's just a no disqualification match. I was thinking that's a disqualification. I mean, he hit him with the fucking steps. That's it. How was he not disqualified from that? And the steps end up busting Punk open. I'm thinking, is it legal to hit people with steps now? That was just weird to me. But Punk's busted open from it. Why didn't they just do some ref bump so they didn't have to do that? But Punk was busted open. bleeding from his forehead in addition to bleeding from his mouth. And Roman is really beating down Punk here. He powerbombs Punk through the announce booth. They go back in the ring, but that's when Punk hits a go to sleep. Roman kicks out of 2. Punk kicked out of a spear. Fans were getting more into Punk as Roman was playing the heel here. And Punk was becoming more and more the babyface. I guess that's just how the match played out. Roman was really working as a heel, especially early on. Punk brought in the Ula Fala, and then they trade submission holds for a while. Punk had the Anaconda Vice, but Roman Reigns also had the guillotine. Good transitions to the submission holds. They don't really use the submission holds to win anymore, but I'm glad they got to feature them here. You had a double clothesline spot. They're both out of it. Dueling strikes for a while, and I think there was dueling chops. It was great. Both guys who can stand up, one's gonna fall. It was really entertaining. Then Punk takes his tape off and he throws it at Roman, and the ref picks up the tape, and then Punk hits a low blow onto Roman Reigns. So I guess they're even. Roman used the steps. Punk hits a low blow, and then CM Punk hits a go to sleep, but Roman Reigns kicks out at 2. Then they go on the outside. Punk put Roman Reigns on the announce booth, and then he hit the elbow drop. He went into the ring, climbed the top rope, hit the elbow drop from the top rope through the announce booth onto Roman Reigns. Great spot here. Punk hits the go to sleep in the ring, and then it looks like this Punk might win here. Roman bounces off the rope, and he falls back onto Punk's shoulders. Punk is ready to hit a second go to sleep, but then CM Punk just collapses. I'm not sure if they're going to do a retirement angle with him, that he's washed up, he can't do it anymore, he's too old. But he just collapses with Roman Reigns on his shoulders. And then Roman Reigns hits a spear. Punk is trying to get back up. Roman then puts him away. He hits a second spear to CM Punk. I don't know if it was the third spear actually in the match, but he hits another spear. Punk's done now. Roman Reigns pins CM Punk. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is your new World Heavyweight Champion. He celebrates the win as the fans put their ones up in the air. Roman Reigns celebrates with his family in the front row to end WrestleMania 42. Roman Reigns, your new World Heavyweight Champion. So that was the show. Much better than night 1, no doubt. WrestleMania 42 night 1 blows WrestleMania 42. WrestleMania 42 night 2 blows WrestleMania 42 night 1 out of the water. Not even close. And I don't know if I would say it saved the show, because I still don't like this WrestleMania overall. Night 1 is so bad that I can't really, say this was a decent WrestleMania. It's under down WrestleMania to me. I don't know how it compares to 41, because 42 night 2 better than 41 night 2, although nothing was good as that triple threat match with the woman, Io, Bianca, and Rhea on 41 night 2. But 42 night 1 was considerably worse than 41 night 1, and that was bad too. So both were bad, but 42 night 2 is better because the main event wasn't a disaster like last year. So the main event here was great. Roman and Punk was great, and you can you can compare Roman and Punk against you can compare it to Roman, Punk, and Seth last year. Both great main events. This was a great match, so you can compare them. I think they're both the same. 42 definitely ended a lot better, but the night 1 of 42 was fucking horrendous. But the way those matches were treated, they're getting no time, and those advertisements are just driving everyone insane. It's but night 2 was a much better. I thought night 2 was a decent show, but I don't know if I would say it was a good WrestleMania because night 1 was so bad. I don't think night 2 could have saved it in any way. So I'll still say it's a down WrestleMania to me. I didn't like this WrestleMania. I didn't like WrestleMania 42. Didn't hate it. Don't think it's one of the worst ever. I don't know how it compares to WrestleMania 41. I think it's around the same level. I think I'd put them at the same level. I think again they have their different strengths to them. I think 42 definitely ended better, but 41 had its moments too. Both bad. I don't want to say 42 is. I don't want to say it's. Yeah, you know what? Night 1 is so bad. I think it can't save the show. So I'm going to say it's under down WrestleMania. 2 years in a row, WrestleMania did not deliver. It was bad. Yeah. 2 bad WrestleManias in a row. I said it. Didn't like it, even though it ended a lot better. But we go on the post show, and it was still light outside as the panel was. They were outside Allegiant Stadium. Jackie Redmond was on the ramp. Kathy Kelly was in the crowd after the match. The panel talks about Brock's retirement. Penta joins the panel. Femi joined the panel. Trick Williams and Lil Yachty joined the panel. Lash Legend joined them. Joined Trick as they're together. Jackie Redmond interviewed Dominick Mysterio backstage. Then you had Rhea Ripley joining the panel for a bit. And then Roman Reigns joined the panel. And this was the most entertaining part. They asked him if he respected Punk. He kind of said yes. And then they asked him about some opponents. Fans kept chanting Oba. Roman kind of played into it. He'd face Oba Femi. And people want to see Roman Reigns and Oba Femi. So that's definitely a match they can do. And then the best part on WrestleMania. The whole weekend, these whole 2 nights. This was my favorite thing. And this made me, I can hang my hat on this. No matter how angry I still am about all those fucking advertisements and the 7-minute matches on night 1 and night 2 not having Io and Asuka, I'm still pissed off about this shit. There's one thing I can hang my hat on. When Roman Reigns mentioned TKO, the fans outside began to chant, "Fuck TKO, fuck TKO," and it was loud. And the panelists didn't know how to react to it, and it was like very loud. Fuck TKO, fuck TKO, fuck TKO. Yes, fuck TKO, fuck TKO. Chanted on Raw. And the show ended. We got a music video recapping night 2, and that's how WrestleMania 42 officially is over now. Look, I'll say this. There needs to be fuck TKO chants on Raw tomorrow night. Get organized, fans. We're there. Chant fuck TKO on Raw all night. Probably not going to happen. I don't expect it to happen. Probably you're going to forget about this by the time Raw starts. Too bad. But I wish they could all chant fuck TKO in unison. Send a message that we are sick of your fucking advertisements during WrestleMania. There's no reason, no PLE. There shouldn't be a PLE where we have to watch commercials. Let alone WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania. Why are we watching fucking commercials during WrestleMania? Fuck off. It angers me. It genuinely angers me, man. It's WrestleMania. Why am I watching commercials? That makes me not like night 2 as much as I want to, because it pisses me off that matches were cut because of fucking commercials. Half hour. More than a half hour, just ads, and the other ads on the show that are not part of the commercial break. I don't fucking know how they do it. Like an hour and 14 last night for night 1. I don't know what I don't know how much it is for night 2. It's probably similar to that. Screw that. Fuck TKO. Fuck your sponsors. I'm sick of it. Like, WWE has had sponsors all the time. Like, it's never been like this. We're getting commercials during PLEs. We're getting advertisements like this during WrestleMania. I'm sick of this shit. I'm glad the fans cheered fuck TKO. That's the message they need to send. There's nothing else you can say. The TKO has killed this company. It's bullshit what they did to WrestleMania this year with these advertisements. All this fucking celebrities, all this downtime. I like the entrances. The entrance, people shouldn't complain about the entrances. Entrances has always been a part of WrestleMania. WrestleMania is a spectacle. It doesn't mean you have to have commercials. Doesn't mean you have to have fucking ads. You have to have all these sponsors in the crowd. All these fucking celebrities. Jeez, it's still a wrestling show. And I'm not asking for straight wrestling. No, I want WrestleMania. I love the spectacle. I love the entrances. I love the pageantry. I love the crowd. The big crowd in the stadium. The set. I love the WrestleMania set. I remember all the great sets in WrestleMania. That's one of my favorite parts of WrestleMania is the set being unveiled. I love it. I love the pageantry. I love the atmosphere. I love the crowd. The large crowd's amazing. The pyro. We didn't get much pyro this year. But I love the pyro for WrestleMania. I love the pageantry. But it's also, and I love the entrances are amazing. I also love the matches. I love some of the great matches. I love the moments, but I don't want moments with no substance. What WWE tries to do is create social media moments, but it's style without any substance. It doesn't have anything to do with actually the match and the storyline and actually part of the show. Some of the greatest WrestleMania moments were part of the show. Like part of the match, part of the storyline, part of the wrestler's storyline, their character. We're getting a payoff. It's not just a wrestling, of course, but it's all, there's no substance to this. You want social media hits, but why should they turn into your show the next night? It's like, I'm just so sick of it. Anyway, I've been very critical of TKO. Like they've ruined WrestleMania 2 years in a row for me. 2 years in a row, WrestleMania has been ruined. even if WWE, even if TKO went away, like they've done their damage. They've ruined 2 WrestleManias. I can't stand them. I just hope the fans chant "fuck TKO." Please, just chant it. That's the only thing I can hang my hat on. But WrestleMania 42, as I said, night 2 is much better than night 1. But we all know the issues. TKO has killed WWE. They've ruined this company. It doesn't even feel like a wrestling promotion anymore. It just feels like just this giant conglomerate. Just using WWE as a vehicle to promote their sponsors and just their clients. I'm just so sick of it. Anyway, yeah, that was WrestleMania. WrestleMania is come and gone. The build-up was not good this year, and the show was not very good either. Yes, night 2 is definitely an improvement from night 1, but that doesn't save the show because night 1 was so bad. And the issues with night 1 kind of lingered into night 2 because it's out of WWE's control. It's out of Paul Levesque's control with these fucking sponsors. With these commercials during WrestleMania. I'm so pissed off with that. Commercials during WrestleMania. Please, fans, just chant this. Fuck TKO.